What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Welcome back to the Six Rings Kane Show here with the crew of Vish and DJ Danny Gillette and my boy Vishnu. What's going on, fellas? How you guys doing?
Good.
What's up? I feel like that's the first time anyone's ever actually used my full name on any of these.
I know.
Vish. I don't know. I felt like saying it, and I always said DJ. I went DJ and then Vishnu.
I know. I was like, wow, so formal. So
Danny
formal.
Gillette and Vishnu Parasuraman. Woo!
Whoa, you went the last day too.
Yeah.
What is happening? And you know what? That is the best you've pronounced anyone's name on. I am honored. I gotta say, like.
And you're usually the guy that messes
I know.
up names.
I know.
So,
And you hit it well, and you know what? I feel like I'm in exalted company now.
Listen, it's because I started going to the gym, starting to get my mind right, so everything's just coming together, man. So now I'm pronouncing names right. Let's see if I stick to it the rest of the show. So
yeah, Max. That's not how you spell my last name. Close. You mixed up the A and a U.
Paris Sarva Rumen.
Paris, yeah. What the
Yeah,
hell
the U needs to go in place of the A between the S and the R, and then you got it. It's pretty close.
It's not bad, Max. Not bad.
Hopefully you weren't looking at it, because if you were, then it's pretty bad. But if you did it from memory, it's pretty good. So context matters.
Oh man, speaking of Max, we got a really good show tonight. Max might drop in for a little bit and talk some Canes football with us. But tonight, listen, the dead period is over. So big time recruiting news, hopefully soon. And we're bringing in one of the best to do it out there, Mr. David Franklin from Team Miami Flow. He'll be joining us in about 3 or 4 minutes, actually. So we'll get him on the show. Max will probably pop in for a little bit, talk some recruiting and talk some spring football after that. We'll get into some spring football with a very special guest as well, who we haven't had on in a while. Former Miami Hurricane. Actually, when you're a Miami Hurricane, you're not a former anything. You're always a Miami Hurricane, right? So big time star wide receiver Lance Leggett will actually join us on the show today. Again, a friend of the program. Hasn't been on in a minute, but we're finally going to get him back on. We talk about his new business, which is booming right now over in Polk County. And as we know, Mario Cristobal was out at Polk County at Lake Gibson High School yesterday for a speaking engagement. And of course, Polk County, that Central Florida area is full and loaded with talent. Okay. And so, maybe we'll get a little bit into that with Lance as well. Talk a little football, a little spring football with him also, because listen, spring football is down the road, right? It's a couple days away. It starts next Monday, if I'm not mistaken, spring practice. And then you've got the spring game, which is April 16th. Did I get that date right? I think I did. So, a lot of stuff to actually talk about. We haven't even gotten into the fact that looks like the coaching staff is kind of rounding out. We're starting to hear some more names for, the last 2 spots. Looks like it might be Stephen Field at tight end, which I love it. I'm good with that move, so I'm really happy about it. But before we get into that, thanks for everybody that's joining us on the show. Chug my beer, bringing it strong always. Excuse me, Chug my beer, Alex Sosa. What's up? What's going on, fellas? Thanks for joining us. And here we are. Speaking of one of the best to do it out there when it comes to recruiting for Miami Hurricanes football. From the Sebastian Lane show, the better half of the Sebastian Lane show, Mr. David Franklin, all the way from the beautiful state of Tennessee. What's going on, Dave? How you doing, my brother?
Good, man. How you boys?
Doing all right, man. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for coming, David.
Good. Thanks for coming.
Anytime.
So we just were talking a little bit about, this is actually being a pretty big week not only moving into spring football, but the dead period is over, right? So dead period is over. Coaches get to start contacting some of these players again, but I know it's a little tricky. So before we even get to started talking about players, how does this dead period work, David? Are they allowed to go see the players or just contact them through phone right now? Set up visits? How does that work right now?
Yeah, you can get now. It kind of gets fun. You can get kids on campus, things like that. Seeing some of that today. I know Jaylen Brown was on campus today, which is huge. Please don't let that young man leave without doing the thing, But yeah, you're getting to see some of that now. Before you could text and do some things like that. You couldn't go evaluate that kind of deal. So it's kind of like the whole COVID routine all over again. You could do some text and some things like that. You just couldn't go actually see and evaluate kids. So now you can get them on campus. You can get in front of them. and that sort of thing. And with a brand new staff like we've got now, that's huge right now. You want all the direct FaceTime you can get with them right now because everybody's coming. We're going after elite guys, which is awesome. However, we're going after elite guys, so that means everybody else is too. So you really got to step up your game now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, for me, it's we talk about I kind of starting to call them the big three now, right? Which is Jaylen Brown, Cormani McLean, Ruben Bain, right?
Yeah.
It's those three, and I'm not saying those are the only three, big time four, high 4-star and 5-star guys we're going after. But excuse me, when you mentioned that 2023 class, those are the three guys that automatically pop up in your head, right? Talk to me about and we'll get to those guys. As you mentioned, Jaylen Brown was on campus today. Ruben Bain is down the street. Great kid. We've had him on the show before. Loves Miami. Obviously, a legacy kid. Uncle played at the U. Things like that. But what are some of the other kids that we need to keep an eye on locally, nationally? Are there some kids out there that maybe we didn't realize that Miami is going hard after? Who are some of the guys that we can kind of focus on there?
Yeah, well, guys you're going to hear about, and you look at just each class, running back, wide receiver, and the list is a mile long on each of those. You look at running back, you got, Mr. Fletcher, you got Mr. Young, you got all these cats coming out.
Cedric Baxter, right?
Cedric Baxter, who I've got, it's almost like alphabetical order, those top three, just about, because you literally just flip a coin and you get somebody elite. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But then you put somebody with that. You put, the Smothers kid out of Carolina, I believe, who got offered just recently. He would be a fantastic piece to add with that. Hang on, my battery's trying to die here, and I'm trying to keep it from happening. If it does, I'll hop back on. But no, you've got all that. Then wide receivers, you talked about Jaylen Brown, obviously Hakeem Williams, Andy Jean, who's already committed. Lamar Seymour's already committed and has been for some time. But then you look at guys like Carnell Tate, another 5-star guy who would just be phenomenal if we could pull that off. You've got another 5-star out of Texas, Hicks Hill, who I've talked to periodically. He was being recruited at Michigan by Gaddis before he came over. His family, they are Michigan people. His dad's from Michigan. They love that place. So who knows what happens. But point is, we've got all these new coaches now and these new coordinators. So we've got ties to some guys that we didn't before, so to speak. So locally, you could recruit locally in the 23 class and just hit a home run. But when you start scouring the nation, like I said, I don't know what happened in that class, but this 23 class, 16, 17 years ago, man, something went off and it just produced athletes across the entire country. Then you've got guys like quarterback Mac Howard out of Mississippi. Now, he's not been offered yet. He's been contacted by Frank Ponce, and they've built a relationship. I talked to him. He has not been offered, but he recently just set up a visit. So there's some interest there. So, guys that you've just not even heard about yet. The staff is just absolutely like on a mission right now. And there's just so many guys. I didn't get in until about an hour ago and just kind of pulled up, and I saw where Charlie Strong's offering 24 guys already. So it's starting to get fun, man. And here this starting this week, and from here on out, it's going to be a roller coaster.
I got one more question. I know DJ or Vish have a question for you, but This is a question I want to pose to you, Dave. Amongst others, but because it's very intriguing. And I was asked this question Monday when I was on with Alex Dono on the South Florida High School sports show. Could this 2023 class potentially be, if not the best ever, one of the best ever that the Miami Hurricanes have ever put together?
Yeah, easily one of the best ever. Potentially, it could be the best. There's no doubt about it. It's going to have a lot to do, and I know I keep repeating myself, and everybody's tired of hearing it, but it's just the way it is. A lot of it's going to depend on what happens on the field. A lot of excitement, big time staff coming in, and and all that's fun. But these guys have options. You look at these offer lists: Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, playoffs every year and that sort of thing. And we're on some lists. We're on some top 6 lists and making some top 4s. And that's fantastic. Now moving forward, though, they want to see that this is real and legit, because let's be honest, we've done this before. We've got hyped in the offseason in recruiting. That's not being negative. That's just a fact. And now I know it's different. We have an elite staff, and we haven't seen a coaching staff like this in a long time, if ever. So it's going to make a difference. But these guys want to see some action on the field.
So just following up on that point, what do you think in terms of on the field that the Canes need to show? Because you mentioned programs that I don't think, like, we're not going to be as good as Alabama this year, for example. So what do you think would be good enough to convince these kids that's worth? Because this is the beginning of the project, right? So I think they probably understand. Like, Alabama's a few steps down the road, but what do we need to show on the field during the season to really convince these kids? Yeah, they're building, and if I go there, like, by the time I leave, we'll be winning championships. Like, what do we need to show?
I think one thing we need to show, and I think we've already done that, is that we're serious about building the program from the inside out, not just in recruiting and fancy things and bells and whistles. We're serious about bringing in a staff all the way up to the athletic director. Let's not forget about that. We had a lot of excitement when we hired Radakovich, and now with the staff and the coaches, a lot of people don't talk about that now. That's important. We've built things from the inside out. We've got people in place. We're spending a little money on some facilities and things like that. And that's what kids want to see these days. That's important. A lot of people play that off, but they go to these other places and they see these beautiful campuses and locker rooms and workout areas and fields and all this stuff. They want to see that. What we need to do on the field, they don't expect us to win the national championship and go undefeated this year, although we all want that to happen. Realistically, they want to see us win the games that we should win. Don't go out and take a 30 or 40 point, thumping on the head or anything like that. They want to see us go out, perform, and be consistent and win the games we're supposed to win. We've got a couple road games, A&M and Clemson. They're going to be tough. Compete. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go in there and, blow A&M out, but you need to go in there and compete, And I think that's what the kids are wanting to see. They want to see that this thing is really, truly moving in the right direction this time.
One of the names that I actually wrote about this week was 2023 defensive tackle David Hicks. I know he's from the state of Texas, and it's hard to get players to leave the state of Texas due to all the colleges and the talent in the state. Do you think Miami has a realistic shot at least landing him, and can they make an impression on him this weekend, in your opinion?
Yeah, because I think they made an impression on him back at Paradise Camp when he was here. I know for a fact he really enjoyed it. He talked about how he enjoyed it. He liked the facilities. He liked the staff. He liked some of the former Canes being around and that sort of thing. So, that kind of started that then. He's going to be back on campus. He's coming back. And I think once he gets here now and he sees this new staff, complete staff, the excitement, all of that stuff, if he liked it the last time, I mean, just imagine what it's going to do. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, he's out of Texas, number one defensive lineman in the entire country. Absolute stud. Do we have a chance? Yeah, but that's the good thing. Before, probably not so much. Yeah, he liked the place and it was nice and it was fun. But then he goes home and he looks at his offer sheet. You know what I'm saying? But now we've got a little something to go to battle with. So yeah, I think we get him back on campus coming up, and he sees all the excitement, that sort of thing. It's just going to help. And then, like I said, we got to go out on the field and perform.
And by the way, at Paradise Camp, I was there. He absolutely dominated.
Okay, yeah.
At Paradise Camp, it was unreal what he did. So when I saw him play, and he's not a huge guy, right? Like he's got nice measurables now, and that was almost a year ago now, right? Maybe 7 or 8 months ago. So I can just imagine, the type of development that he's already gotten from then to now. So that's pretty exciting. Before, by the way, we're going to bring in Lance Leggett in about 5 minutes, and we'll do a little bit of this with him as well. I got a couple questions for him, and Dave, if you want to ask a couple questions too. I know there's one specific guy I want to know about with Lance, but
I can imagine.
Yeah, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. Let's not name that guy, okay? No. But I want to get your take before we even bring him in. This is a question I have too. Another question I have. And it's funny because Max brought this up in his show yesterday, and I thought it was an awesome question. If you had to choose one guy, right, out of this 2023 class that you say, well, if we don't get this guy, this class is a disappointment, right? And I know this class is going to be different anyways, because this 2023 class with Mario is going to be outstanding. But like, last year, how we said, hey, if we don't get Wes, this class is a disappointment. I don't care who else we get, right?
Yeah.
Who's that one guy in this 2023 class?
That's what's so crazy about this class. There's so many of those dudes. Like last year, it was, not say easy, but Wesley just stood out, right?
Yeah.
And he stood out like the entire cycle, like everybody you talk to. The guy you're thinking of, yeah. You look at, like I said, Fletcher and those boys at running back. I said this last week on my show, and I think everybody thought it was kind of a boring answer, but Francis Malagoa, offensive lineman, because I'm a trench guy. I want those trenches fixed. Like, we're going to get these skill guys, and I don't mean that the wrong way that I'm overlooking them, but we're going to get those. But until we get these trenches fixed, it ain't going to happen. So guys like Malagoa, Kirkland, guys like that across the offensive line, I think are highly important to make everything else go forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mario's a trench guy too. I mean, that's what we're building the program inside out now versus
that's one reason why I was on the soapbox cheering for him to get here, because not just to who he was and where he's from and all that, but because of what he stands for. And he's bringing Coach Mirabal with him. So, those two together, like I said, man, we get skill guys, and we're going to be fast, and we're going to be athletic and all that. But those trenches, man, it's just like it won't go away. It just won't go away. Just fix them. I don't want to hear about them anymore. I just want them addressed and fixed so these other guys can do what they want to do,
Yep. Amen to that. I'm actually seeing here if I can text Lance the site, because he's having an issue trying to get on now. That's the site. Yeah, I don't know why. Some people have issues with StreamYard, so hopefully he can get on. You know how it is.
I'll attest to that.
Yeah. So real quick. Okay, I guess we might as well mention him, because before Lance gets on, a Polk County kid, possibly the best at his position in 2023 is 5-star cornerback Cormani McLean. Now we all know that Miami, was a school that he was interested in before Manny got here, but I just think it just piqued his interest that much more now.
All right, before they kill you, you said Manny instead of Mario again. It's like a weekly.
Well, did I say when Manny was here, right?
You said before Manny got here, so I'm assuming.
Before Mario got here, excuse me. Yeah. Geez.
Leave him alone.
If I didn't do it, they would have come forward with pitchforks. You got to acknowledge it and move on, man.
Yeah,
how it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. That mistake's going to happen a lot. They're both M's, for crying out loud. Damn Cubans. Unbelievable. I can say that because I'm Cuban, okay? Anyway, so when Manny was here, Cormani had some interest in the University of Miami either way. I think that what helped was Lance being up there and coaching him up a little bit at the speed academy and all that, which hopefully we can talk about now. But look, that to me is the guy that we really need on this team. I'm sure you've been able to see a little bit about a little bit of tape on Cormani. What is it that makes him stand out so much?
Just his size and his athletic ability. Like, you just see the guys, they just have it, so we say he just got it. Like, you watch his film, it takes you about 10 seconds and you're sold. You know what I'm saying? He just has everything that you look for. And then when you think of how young he is, and he hasn't even been coached up at the college level yet, and you get him here and get him in a program with his staff, and just everything surrounding him, man, is just amazing. And like I said, it takes you off about 10 seconds but you could just turn it off and you're done. So, like I said, his size, athletic, just everything, man. He's just absolutely phenomenal.
Here's the thing with Cormani. I think that we haven't had that. When's the last time we had that, that huge big time cornerback, right? We whiffed on a couple of guys recently, right? We whiffed on Tyreek Stevenson, and we just happened to get him back, right? So we got lucky with that one. But the last time we had a 5-star defensive back, cornerback really commit to us was what? Tracy Howard, right? I think that was the last time. Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a long time.
Getting a guy like that to anchor your cornerbacks for 3 or 4 years, I think is going to be huge because at least you're going to have one guy that's going to lock down one side of the ball no matter what. And then you're still getting these 5-star safeties. So apparently Lance is backstage. Do you see him, Vish?
I do not. So
he just texted me that he's
I
backstage.
don't know what stream he's in, but it's not ours.
I don't know. I texted him the stream, and this is awesome. I love this.
This is great content for everyone. We're letting you see people behind the curtain. There's the four of us are in the stream, and that's it. There's no one else here.
Well, all right. So I got to, you know what? Let's kind of get into spring football though, since we might as well get in a little bit of spring football as we try to get Lance on the show. Spring football starts this Monday. I know there's going to be some guys out. Okay, some big names that are going to be out, not going to be able to participate. Good news is, and I know we all know TVD is the guy, but Jeff Garcia. Wow, Jake Garcia. This is the kind of day I'm having, man. Jake Garcia.
Yeah.
I thought I wasn't. And listen, I thought I wasn't going to screw it up today because I got Bish's.
I know you get my name right, and you can't get your Jeffs and your Jakes.
Unbelievable.
Jeff Jake Garcia is not walking through that door there, Jess.
I'm okay.
Sorry to tell you.
Yeah. Jeff Garcia is problematic at this point, so we just should move past it.
Yeah, we'll skip that. Jake Garcia.
Jeff's been canceled, so let's just go to Jake.
Jake Garcia has been cleared to play, to practice Pro Bowl. Me Junior says Pro Bowler. Yeah. Jake Garcia has been cleared to play, which is nice because now you got a little bit of competition for TVD. Listen, it is what it is. I mean, they were neck and neck before the season started, right? Some thought Jake. I was one that was like, listen, if they're neck and neck and this season is a wash, you go with Jake, right? And Jake got hurt, and then we saw what TVD did, and TVD is obviously the man now. However, this pushes TVD. It gives him an opportunity to continue to grow, to continue to develop, to continue to be pushed. Because you saw with other guys that were here before didn't really have that competition, right? The Brad Kayas of the world and, all these, they didn't really have that competition. So now you got a guy like Jake Garcia who's right behind TVD, is going to push him. And I don't think Jake Garcia is going to give up that spot that easily either. I think he's going to try to compete and try to win the job. And obviously TVD is the man. But, aside from that position, you got some other positions that we're going to be able to see some guys that we hadn't seen before, right? For one reason or another. And specifically, the one I really want to talk about is the linebacker position first before we get into anything else, because I know we only got about 5-6 minutes with you, Dave. I want to get into linebackers, man. The linebackers, I think, is going to be one of the most important positions in the spring to see development, to see what Charlie Strong is going to be able to do with that position, and Kevin Steele for that matter. So I think it's going to be important to see that. What do you want to see? Who are the kind of the guys that you want to see kind of, build and develop and kind of grow into a possible starting position?
Let's just go straight to it with Wesley Besant. I mean, let's just start right there. Like we brought him here for a reason, right? Position of need, top recruit. We've already said number one guy in the class, like all of that, right? And he's here now. But now you bring in Charlie Strong, you bring in Kevin Steele, you bring in all this. And the thing I love about Kevin Steele is like, he's going to have his defense. He's going to run what he runs, but he's also going to adjust to what he needs to do. And we've seen him do that throughout his career. And I think with Wesley being here so early and getting all this time with Charlie Strong and in the film work and in the gym, just the whole nine, I think is going to be huge for him. And I think when you look at a guy like that, and then you look at the schedule, I know early on we go to Texas A&M, but other than that, the first, 3, 4, or 5 weeks is not that tough. And I think you may have a chance to see a guy like Wesley be able to get his feet wet, get in there, get some reps, take some hits, and kind of get acclimated a little bit to where we get into the middle in the back half of the season. I think it's going to be huge. And I think you look at a few other guys, and it's not just linebacker, it's across the board. I think we've got some guys who I think we have some talented guys. They just have not been coached up like they're about to be coached up. And I think it's going to make a humongous difference just strictly with the staff that's here. So I think linebacker play is going to be highly improved, but I think it's going to be the system and the adjustments and things like that we're going to make. And also, you're not going to see any more seniority. I mean, you're either the guy or you're not, and you're literally going to have the best guys out there. So it's going to be exciting to watch.
It looks like we have you said, Vish, we got a recruiting question for Dave. Oh, here we go. From
Yeah.
30 Will. Can you talk about Hicks and Hill from Texas? I think you mentioned both of them, right?
We mentioned Hicks. I don't think we talked about Hill yet. I don't think.
Yeah,
Is
that was what I was. I thought we talked about Hicks, but not Hill.
We talked about
so
Hicks,
I thought we could talk about Hill.
Yeah.
Is that Jalen Hill?
Anthony
Is that
Hill, I think
Oh,
is who
Anthony
they're talking
Hill.
about.
Okay,
I
Anthony
think
Hill.
the linebacker out of I mean, dropped to top 6, and so we're in it. We're there, which I don't know where we're at in the pecking order of that 6, but hey, we're in it. We're at least we're in the bus instead of being standing on the at the bus stop just watching it pull away. So I think we're there, and that's a dude that I want to see us get on campus and let Charlie Strong and Kevin Steele work with him and talk with him, and here's the schemes and what we want to do and how we want to use you and that sort of thing. So that part with him, because like I said, he's sort of new, in the conversation. He hasn't been there the whole time. So, but then, like I said earlier, with Hicks, I think we're in a pretty good spot. Like I said, he kind of like Cormani. They liked it when they heard the last time. Wait till you show up again and kind of see what the buzz going on now. So, I think we made a good impression with him to begin with. I think we're in a good spot. Do we pull him off? I'm not saying that. Texas A&M, all that jazz. So, but I think we're in a good spot with him. And Hill, we're just going to have to see. He's kind of early in that process. So,
all right, so we finally got Lance back here. Let's bring him on in. Here we go. Our man's here.
What's
up, dude? Jazz has been like filibustering for us. Like he's almost here. I swear he's actually coming on.
Oh man, what's going on, Lance? Lance Leggett on the show, baby. Kane's great. What's going on, my brother? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How about y'all?
I'm doing good, man. We're doing good. Thanks for coming back on the show. It's been a minute, but we know you're doing some big things, man. So we really appreciate it.
I told y'all I was coming back on here. I just ain't tell y'all what I was coming on here for. I told y'all I was coming.
Well, we appreciate it. It didn't matter what you were coming on here for. We appreciate you coming on here anyways. So, but even before we get to that, I see you got the swag on. So we got to give us.
Come on, man. You already know, y'all know how I do it. If you play wide receiver at the University of Miami.
Let's see if we can. Let me see if I can full screen him so you can kind of.
You got a full screen lens, yeah.
That's just me? Hold on.
Not you.
We're not trying to.
Wait. Hold on. I'm working on it.
There we go.
That's what they need.
There we go. So we'll let you kind of chime in and talk a little bit about Taste One, but real quick, the website is the taste1boiledpeanuts.com, right? Did I get that right?
Yeah, Taste One Boiled Peanuts with an S.com.
With an S.com. The Twitter is just hashtag Taste One Boiled Peanuts. Make sure you.
We don't have a Twitter. So the thing is, we got Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. That's what we have.
Gotcha.
Twitter is just usually like me interacting because I'm not really into the social media like that.
Right.
So it's really like me interacting with my Hurricane family.
Awesome. But if we do kind of tag you on Twitter, we can tag you with that hashtag, right? We can do hashtag.
Oh yeah, most definitely. They just go to Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. TikTok, and they'll find it.
Perfect. And it's at Taste One Boiled Peanut Co at the end. So make sure y'all go check it out. Talk to me a little bit before we get into spring football and a little bit of recruiting there. Talk to me a little bit about Taste One, how it got started, where it came from, what you guys are doing with it.
Man, honestly, this was like a childhood dream of mine, but what a lot of people didn't know. Back when I was younger, like 7, 8 years old, my uncle, he had a business that everybody knew around here, was very known. And every time I used to go up to his truck, he used to sell slushes. He used to always give him he used to give him a free slush every time. Like we lived in the project, so in the front of the project, park in front of the project, I run out there like it's the ice cream truck, but he sat out there and he'll give me a free slush. And every time he used to give me a free slush, I used to always tell him, hey, I used to say it just like this. I'm gonna buy you a whole lot of slush your mouth when I make it to the NFL. So I imagine me telling him that since I was 7 years old when I went to high school, because I'm talking about he always gave me a free slush. So when I went to high school, when I went to college, and then when I played at Cleveland for 2 years, once I was done, I went to him and I told him, hey, remember I always said I want to help you get a lot of your business going, what he was doing. And I was like, I'm ready. And he's like, let's do it. But unfortunately, we weren't able to. It couldn't do it. It wasn't him. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't him, but we couldn't get the deal done. So I had to go my direction, man. Just imagine you had everything, the whole business. I had it, what my uncle business was. I had everything in the whole store, his business. I had opened up a slushy shop. I had to change the name, come up with a new name, but I didn't know how to make none of the product at all. You know what I'm saying? We had slushes, boiled peanuts, and corn on the cob. And you know, that's a family thing. My family been around this thing all the time. So figured out how to make the slushes. Boom. Then next thing you know, when we got to the boiled peanuts part, I asked my mom, like, hey, what I need to do? Because I don't know, listen, I don't know how to do nothing. I was like, man, I don't know how to do nothing. Like, what the heck? I gotta turn this store into something like, hey, this shit gonna be a goddamn shoe store, a clothing store or something. But I had to stick to my dream. What I always want to do since I was little was help my uncle, but couldn't go that route. So I had to do it my way. And my mom came up with the recipe. And man, once we opened up the store, imagine them motherfuckers peanuts were selling out every goddamn day. Sell it out. So that shit, the bitch was selling out.
That's a wrap right there, huh?
Yeah, man. I decided to shut down the store, and I opened up a little warehouse. I had got a little warehouse. So once I got the little warehouse, now I'm cooking on a bigger scale. Never did this shit before in my life. Hey, shut down the store, just shut it down. I'm like, man, I'm finna go do this.
That's awesome.
Shut it down, and I started cooking the peanuts then, man. And I had to cook from scratch. Right. Man, listen, on a big old man, them goddamn peanuts so goddamn disgusting. Because in the store,
I thought you were gonna say they were good.
Oh no,
man, how are you trying to sell these peanuts? Talking like that.
Man, one thing about me, listen, I like bad publicity. A lot of businesses are scared of that shit. I ain't scared of it. So, because it's boiled peanuts, a lot of people don't eat boiled peanuts. It's just that's the nature of the beast. But because when I had the storefront, we go back what I was saying. When I had the storefront, I used to make a little shortcut where I used to what we call back in the hood. I used to end rig it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. End rig it back in the days. And so when I had to go on a bigger scale, I couldn't get it. It was disgusting, dog. I couldn't do it. So I shut it down. I just shut down the warehouse. Boom. And I got into trucking. So I started my own trucking company. And for 7 years, just imagine I'm driving this truck, but I'm putting together my game plan. You see what I'm saying? Of how I want to do it, how I want to be different. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do the crock pot. You know, that shit disgusting. So I had to come out and be different. And I know once I came out, I had to set a tone. You know what I'm saying? Like when I come out, people got to take me serious. And just imagine all these, like for 7 years, I was just putting this thing together, putting it together piece by piece. Some people in my family, I was letting them taste it. You know what I'm saying? Like to get them familiar with it. Because in Tampa, these were these peanuts got famous at, because I had to shop in Tampa. So in Tampa, they ready for them to come to Tampa because that's where they blew up at in 2011. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't know. Yeah, see, a lot of people don't know that was way back then. I've been doing this. So they think I just popped up with this. Nah, man, it's been years over the making, just putting it together. But I decided to come out with the bag. And when I came out with the bag, it was just something different. And man, like, it's been a blessing with the University of Miami, boy.
Well, we hope, listen.
And Polk County, where I'm from.
We hope to get some. We're definitely going to go online and get some of those. Get some of those represented and throw it up there on.
Yeah, of course, you got to get there. It is right here, man. You got to get
there. It is. Speaking of that, right? Speaking of that, we saw the picture, right? We saw the picture.
Everything. You see it. Look.
That ain't that bad. All right. I like it. Yeah. And it's orange. Of course it's orange.
Man, right? Look, everything you see, nobody helped me with it. I just put together a team. I got a real strong production team. And me and my graphic art designer, man, a local. I work with nothing but local talent because I like to put the spotlight on Polk County, where I'm from.
Yeah.
Man, these boys, like my team's so strong. It's 3 of them. Vince, Donovan, and Sean. Man, they strong, man. Everything you see, my team from right here, I just put them together because I've always been in the team atmosphere. and I just put together the team, and they believe in the product, and man, they the one making this product look how it's looking right now.
Well, we appreciate it. Taste one boiledpeanuts.com. Make sure y'all go check it out. David, I know you got to get going real quick, so we saw the picture. And I know that we were talking about it with David and with the rest of the crew here about where our dude Mario Cristobal was yesterday. Flying out of Polk County, checking out Lake Gibson. But we know he was there for two things. He was there for Taste One, and he was there for Cormani McLean, right? Like, I mean, come on now. So, David, man, I know you got something for Lance. You know, let him know, because I know you got to get out of here. So go throw it at him.
How many bags of peanuts I got to buy, man?
Man, shit. Hey, you listen. Go ahead. Hey, how many people live in your subdivision where you live at? Let's go ahead.
He's gonna bring a pallet. He's gonna bring a pallet over to you. Well, he's in Tennessee though, Lance. He's in Tennessee, so you got to send it up to Tennessee.
Yeah, we eat, man. We eat down here, so I don't ask for much, man. But that's like my one request. So you know, no pressure though. No pressure.
No problem, man. You know I got you.
I know you heard that before, but no, it's they were asking me earlier about, you know, his film and his game and all that, and I was like, man, some dude just got it, and he's just got it. Like, you know, what's not to like, right?
Yeah.
So you trained him a little bit, right, Lance? You trained Cormani a little bit in this. Didn't you work with him a little bit?
No, man. See, a lot of people, it's so crazy, man. A lot of people think I trained him. Man, I haven't trained. I don't train at all, man. It's what I do. What I was doing, I was actually just going out there checking them out. Somebody, a good friend of mine who I'm mentoring right now, his name Polkway. So if y'all look at Polkway, if y'all want to look up any like athlete in Polk County, go to Polkway 863 on Instagram or Twitter. And I was actually just going out there to see him, man, and I just gave him a little pointers. I know him because Cormani, this crazy thing about it, Cormani dad and my grandma, his grandma, and his great grandma and my grandma lived right across the street from, I'm talking about across the road. Wow. And his dad, so I always saw his dad since I was little. Yeah. So man, it's just like, honestly, it's like, I gotta help these kids from here. You see what I'm saying? And it was more of a timing. I had to come honest, I had to build what I was trying to do first, and then I could help. You see what I'm saying? And it was the perfect time. It just so happened I came out with my peanuts and Cormani come out at the same time. So why not help him?
Were you able to watch him work out a little bit?
Oh yeah, man. Listen. Now I'm gonna tell you what I had to tell him to do, because this boy, it was when I went out the other day, because man, so many, listen, in Polk County, there's so many 5-stars. Like you see it, y'all saw this past year. We had the number 1 D tackle, the number 1 athlete, Sam McCall. Then you had the number 1 D tackle who went to Texas A&M, Dandy, and then you had who else? We had Sam McCall. Then we had Cormani, another 5-star. Now you're about to see another 5-star. Watch, don't believe it or not, he's gonna move up the rankings. Tyler Williams, he gonna end up being a 5-star. I guarantee you easily. Nice. But what I've been doing, man, is just trying to put the focus on here. And I have to. It's a must that I do that.
That's awesome, man. We appreciate it. Dave, I know we got to let you go. I know you got other things going on, man. Plug your show real quick before we keep it rolling here. Let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, man. Always glad to be on anytime. Sebastian Lane, Thursday nights, tomorrow night, 8:45 is when we hop on and go live. So check us out there on the Flow channel every night. So usually, we cover recruiting and we try to keep it all that. But if you got questions on anything else, DMs are open. Hit me anytime.
We appreciate it, my man. Thank you so much for coming on anytime you want.
All right, man. Thank you all. Have a good night.
You too.
Right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. A big shout out to David from Team Miami Flow, man. We appreciate it. Kind of jumping right into it because, listen, we're excited, man. I don't know if you had the chance to chop it up with Cristobal a little bit last night, but I know we all got questions for you on this. Vish, I know you had, right off the top, I know you had one specific question you kind of wanted to roll out there, Vish. What was, go ahead and let them know.
Yeah, just in terms of so Mario's been here a couple of months now, but in terms of him versus Manny Diaz, what are some of the kind of differences you see in terms of how they're approaching that? What's different now, and what can we be kind of excited about that's being built here?
Well, I know from experience, I never been around Manny, you know what I'm saying? So I can't really tell you his coaching style or how he run his house. And I really I never asked, honestly. But what I could say about Coach Cristobal is because I had a lot of people don't know I had a relationship with him before I got to Miami. When Cristobal first got the tight ends job, he said Coach Coker and Coach Warner called him. I'm talking about as soon as he got the job. He ain't walking the building. As soon as he got the job, hey, you got to get on the plane and go see this kid in Texas. Now, hey, I'm not from Texas. Now I'm from Bartow, Florida, so don't get it twisted. But yeah, I ended up going to Texas my junior and senior year, and he said they told him you got to get on the flight right now and go see this kid. So when he got there, I was his first recruit ever. Wow. When he got to Miami, he had to come see. So that relationship with us is like, man, it's like this. I'm telling you, so I saw him how he recruit. And then I saw how he had the tight ends playing to a high level. You had Kevin Eric and you had Greg Olsen. They were playing at a high level. You see what I'm saying? That's because of Cristobal had his attitude. That's the way they played. You see what I'm saying? So I know that the attitude he gonna have that team playing. The attitude how he gonna have that team playing, and just a lot of kids. I'm telling you, all the kids want to play for him, man. They want to play. He gonna get on your ass. Don't get me wrong, but that's what the coach is gonna do. But he a guy you gonna love to play for. That's why you saw the success. You saw what he was starting to do at Oregon. We just got his ass out there just in time.
That's the truth, man. That's the truth. Now, I know he went over there to talk, talk at that Lake Gibson to do a little bit of a, kind of like an appearance and all that, and talk to the kids. How did the crowd react to Mario when he was out there, kind of just with the mic? Because he commands. He's got that presence, right? He gets up there and you're like, oh shit, this is Mario Cristobal. Let's ride, right? Like he makes you want to run through a wall. How was the attitude or kind of like the vibe over at Lake Gibson?
Man, you already know how it was. Mario moving around side. Hey, he'll move it around side to side, but his eyes are wandering that. His eyes are so well. You already know his eyes are running. But no, man. I think he had, especially what I looked at, forget the fans that came. I'm looking at the team. Like when he was talking to them players, how them players was like at attention. I made sure I wanted to see if it was a player had their phone in their hand. Now them players were looking like really buying into it. You could see how he had command of the players, man. And like the stuff he was saying, and what he was preaching, and what he was talking on the slideshow of what he was showing is like you could see why he always put together a great team.
That's kind of exciting because let me tell you, like we're about 4 days away, right? Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, 4 days away from spring football, baby. And listen, you've been through this before, right? Spring football is an opportunity, and this team is a little different than past teams. Have some guys that are going to be out, but like just off of your experience with spring football, what is it that you did as a player at the University of Miami when spring football came around, and what can we expect these players to do? And I know obviously Mario brings in a different program, and so it's going to be a little bit different. And we're kind of going to get a chance to see some of these players that maybe didn't get an opportunity under Coach Diaz to really shine or to really kind of develop and become better and become these these just goons right out there on the field that are just going to destroy people. What did you do in spring, and what can we expect like these players to kind of get out of spring practice?
Shit, what I did when I was there, I ran track. Like that, a lot. You're gonna see a lot of them. I guarantee you look on that roster. I promise you I know at least 5 of them running. So that's what I did. I made sure in all season I ran track, but you already know, like I won ACCs, man. I broke the record when I was at Miami and hurdle. So I had to run. I came out a top hurdler out of high school, so I was a top track runner. So I was gonna run anyways. But that when I ran track, it just give you that competitive edge because it's like now all year I've been playing football, right? Playing with a team and relying on somebody else. But now I get to run track, and it's like all on me. So if I don't put that work in, it's gonna show that track. Yeah, it's gonna get blowed out. So it's just teach you how to compete. That's the main thing. And then you're working on your speed. You're working on your technique. So that was what I did during the springtime. So I had to go from football practice to track practice. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
It was
yeah.
crazy. So my spring I had a real tough spring. I had an overload when at Miami. I had to work harder.
With with a new coach, they've got to install some stuff as well, right?
Yeah.
So how hard is it to get that installation in the spring? Let's say you're not running track, right? Like if you're running track, it's even that much harder. But let's say you're not running track. How hard is it to install a defense or an offense in the spring so that everybody through the summer can kind of, get it together and understand it and learn it?
Shit, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna throw track in there because I'm always talking about my experience. Shit, fuck that. Listen, so when I was there, you gotta look. Imagine me having track practice still, right? But the 4 years I was there, I had 3 offensive coordinators, not using that as no excuse. So every spring, man, we had to learn a new offense every spring. You're like, God damn. Like, because you want to get that timing, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Every spring, we've run a new offense every spring. The 4 years, so my first 2 years, I had Dan Warner, right? And then who came? Okay, we had Coach Olsen. And we had Coach, God damn it,
Nix.
Coach Nix. Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that, by the way. I apologize.
Man, listen, man, that shit old. I'm old as hell. Guess what I'm doing right now?
Oh, nice transition, baby. There we go.
It's right here. That's
what it's all about.
Right here, man.
We want to end on this note. We want to talk again. Go back to your business, man. We're really happy for you. We're really proud of everything that you're doing out there. Let them know again from your mouth, not even from mine, man. Let them know about where they can find Taste One. If there's like different flavors, like what's going on there, and plug your social media and where they can order it.
Well, listen, man. See, if y'all don't know me, I've been gone, so I've been off the scene. So, but listen, I'm tell you where I'm famous at right now. I'm famous on that Twitter space. Y'all come in the space. Everybody love when I come on the space. So, I'm gonna just do my little thing I be doing on the space. Listen, I don't know if you ever follow the page, but if you ain't following the page, I want you to go on Taste One Boy Peanut Co. on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. That's Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I want you to go follow Taste One Boy Peanut Co. I ain't asked you to. Hey, listen, I ain't asked you to buy nothing. I ain't asked you to even to taste it, but I'm just asking you to follow the page and like the page, like a picture or something on the page, and support me. That's it. Now, if you want to support, I'll tell you, I'm gonna go back to this. But this is what I always say: if you want to support, go on Taste One Boy Peanuts. That's with the s.com, and we'll deliver them peanuts right to your front door.
That's awesome. I just followed right now. I just gave you a nice follow on Instagram.
Oh, and, yeah, man. I'm gonna tell you. So
we'll make sure
that little famous picture been going around on Twitter. Y'all already seen it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna tell you about that story, right? So that picture, when it came out, I didn't know anything about it. So my PR, she hit me up, and she said, "Lance, you saw that picture somebody Photoshop and put on with Cristobal?" I'm like, "No, what you talking about?" So she sent it to me. I saw it. So she sent me the original picture.
That's awesome.
Like, yeah, those need to be some Taste One peanuts in his lap for real. So I'm like, man, that's crazy. So I was on my way to the banquet, and when I got there, me and Coach Cristobal talking, like, man, Lance, you got some peanuts, man? Because I had, Coach, y'all don't know, Coach Cristobal already had the peanuts already. You see what I'm saying? I've been to them. And he's like, man, you got some peanuts? Which I'm like, nah, but I could go down the street and get some. So I just so happened, where we was at by Lake Gibson High School, the church we was at, I got a store in that area. So it was like a minute away. Went down there, got the peanuts, brought him some peanuts back. And I just gave them to him. So after the banquet, I was taking my father home. I was taking my dad back home. And it's this gamer, his name Diaz, Matt Daddy Dimes. He always support Taste One, man. He definitely shouted out a lot on his streaming channel. He's a Facebook gamer. He hit me up. He's like, Lance, man, you saw the picture with Cristobal with your peanuts? So I sent him the picture. I sent him the text. Yeah, I see it. I sent him the one with the Photoshop, right? He's like, no, not that one. I'm talking about he took a real picture. I'm like, man, what? So it's so crazy, man. Like what I love what Coach Cristobal doing, man. I didn't even ask Coach Cristobal to do that at all. I didn't even know he was going to do that. A lot of people don't know that, man.
Right.
And that's how you know, man, he loved what I'm doing. And he told me he going to back me. He said, Lance, this thing need to be known. Everybody in the University of Miami family, they need to know about Taste One.
That's how special that man is. Look, some people on the chat are actually asking, Lance, can you get that hoodie and the hat on the site as well?
Oh no, man, I ain't got no
Oh,
merch.
come on now.
It's coming. You be honest, like on the business side, like I told you when I had my old business, I had the merch. I'm gonna get into the merch, but
Awesome.
I want to focus more on I want to focus more on this right here.
I feel you.
And then
Absolutely.
eventually, as we grow, it's gonna come out.
I'm not gonna lie though, that hoodie is fresh though.
Man, I stay fresh. You gotta, stay fresh.
I need to get me one of those, man.
No,
my shirt.
Taste One style. I'm gonna give y'all Taste One style. I'm gonna let you know. So Taste One style is more my style. It's not the traditional khaki shirt tucked in. That ain't me. I don't rock like that. I want to be my style. So like with my distributors, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have distributors down in South Florida and then distributors in Orange County and Hillsborough County. They could wear this when they even go into the store, and they could have on jeans like holy jeans, because that's my style. I want you to be fresh. I don't want that uptight shirt tucked in. Nah, that ain't me.
I feel you. Yeah, man. That's awesome, man. Listen, Lance, we appreciate you coming on, man.
All right, man. Listen, y'all. How much more longer y'all got on the show?
Probably another 10 minutes or so.
Oh, y'all finna rock with y'all then.
All right.
Shit, man. That's great.
All right. Well, we appreciate it. Real quick, I actually want to go around and kind of talk a little bit about spring football really quick with Vish and DJ. I want your take on what position is going to be the most important in spring. And I want to start with you, Vish. What position you think is going to be the most important that we see?
Yeah, I'm looking more at linebacker just because that position's unsettled, and I felt like the previous staff was playing favorites there. Like there was just like they were rolling the same. We're actually pretty deep there, but we have a lot of guys that haven't played a lot, so that's where I'm looking to see. I think it's an opportunity for a lot of guys to step in, and what we do with kind of the old strikers if we're not using that position anymore. You know, where do they fit in? Are they gonna put on some muscle and play linebacker? So. I think that's a position that I think is unsettled. But we have a lot of like big time recruits there, like people like Sam Brooks that like haven't really played a lot. That should you thought would have.
Finally healthy, by the way. I think
he's healthy and just like so. I think that's a position where a lot of those kids could use a fresh start based on like there was. I mean, Diaz had his guys, and those were the guys playing, and that was kind of it. And those weren't necessarily even the highest recruits. So I think there's a lot of hidden talent there. So I'm excited to see what we can get out of that position.
I think now in the spring, since you have a couple of guys that are going to be out, I think I really want to see Tyreek Austin-Cave make a move. He's up to 233 pounds, and he's still quick, sideline to sideline guy. I really like him. I love what he showed last season when he did get a chance to play a little bit. I love Deshaun Troutman. I think he's a human missile. Said that a ton of times already. So I want to see him. I want to see, maybe Sam Brooks is another one that I want to see kind of, pop out a little bit. And of course, Wes is going to be, I think, the key there, man. If he can develop and he can play that mic quickly, I think that's going to be awesome. DJ, what position are you looking for, man? You got to say another one, right? You can't say linebacker. You got to say
Yeah, I'm looking for the running backs to really kind of set the tone this spring. Josh Gaddis talked earlier this week about wanting to get more out of the position. They have guys like Jalen Knighton and Henry Parrish. Parrish rushed for 551 yards and 3 touchdowns last season as a third-string running back. I would really love to see the running game be a little bit more revitalized. We saw Gaddis do that with Blake Corum and Hassan Haskins at Michigan, and I believe Miami has the personnel to maybe not have the same level that Michigan did, because I think those expectations are a little steep right now, but the pieces are in place for them to be able to be successful. So that's a position that I'm looking to really kind of emerge from the spring after a difficult rushing attack last year.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jalen Knighton obviously comes back as a bell cow at this point, but a healthy Don Chaney could challenge him, okay, for running back one. I think that he is legit. Henry Parrish, although he was a third running back, that was a three-headed monster over there also at Ole Miss last year. And his old running backs coach is now here at Miami, Kevin Smith. Okay, so you got Kevin Smith and you got Josh Gaddis. And I mean, listen, and don't count out Thad Franklin and Cody Brown either. All right, so those guys got some boom in them as well. So you've got you got 5 or 6 running backs that are here that are going to compete. Could you see one in the transfer portal? Absolutely. But I think that's an interesting position. You're definitely right on that, DJ. I'm gonna go with Lance's favorite position since you guys threw those in. I'm gonna go with the wide receivers. Okay, it's an interesting one to me because we lost our 2 top guys, right? Mike Harley and Charlie Rambo. Okay, we lost those guys. Yeah, the general. What's up? Big shout out to the general. Didn't even mention Trevante Citizen, who could quite possibly be the best running back in this whole entire.
That's right. That's right. I forgot about him.
A kid out of Louisiana. He's the truth. So, look for him to get some playing time. Possibly if he can play, right? If he can come in and compete with these cats, I can see him doing it. Max with the shout out for Canes Hoops, up 18-11 against who is it? Boston College that they're playing.
Yeah. You'll know I have it streaming off screen here, so I'm trying to keep it professional. This is a weekly occurrence where I'm trying not to just watch the game out the side.
All right,
That's no big feat, right? I'll tell you that right now. Boston College is terrible. They are awful at basketball.
They are. Shout out to Cesar Odio. Anyways, wide receivers, man. Listen, this is an interesting one because we've got a lot of talent there, but a lot of young talent, right? So obviously you got Keyshawn coming back. Keyshawn Smith is probably the guy that everybody's going to look to, but I think that Xavier Restrepo is another one, right? He is kind of the leader of that wide receiver group, right? From a perspective of who kind of holds it down and kind of brings everybody up and has everybody's back. I love X. I love what he's going to bring. But man, these cats, Romello Brinson, Rashard Smith, and my favorite, Jacoby George. I love Jacoby George's game. I love his route running, his separation. He is smooth. He doesn't look like he's a burner, but he's so damn smooth. I love Jacoby George. Look for guys like Daz Worsham and Michael Redding to get in the mix and try to compete. If they don't get to where they need to get, chances are they might transfer. But you're going to see that a lot after spring anyways. I love that. And then my biggest sleeper is if he's healthy and he's got his mind right, Frank Ladson is going to be the real deal here. He's a big dude, about 6'3", 6'4", about 200 pounds. He can scoot, he can go, he can run. So I think that it's going to be important to see how this whole entire wide receiver core pans out. The top 3 is going to be hard for me to say right now. I mean, I like the group of Keyshawn, Restrepo, and Jacoby George, but you can throw in Frank Ladson in there. You can throw in Brashard Smith, although he's kind of like the Swiss Army knife of that team. You can put him in the backfield. You can have him running jet sweeps. You can have him doing so many different things. I love what Brashard Smith does. So you got a lot of really good players there on that side of the ball. And you might have some more guys coming in. Who knows, right? So we'll see what happens in that position. But I think it's going to be interesting. Lance, and I'll kind of throw that to you on the wide receiver end. What do you like to see out of your wide receiver group, like your X, Y, and Z?
Okay. I know y'all boys, you talk about wide receivers, you talk about running backs, you talk about linebackers. So I don't even want to talk about receiver. Y'all
I like that. All right.
Y'all did that. So who I want to talk about is only one particular person I want to talk about. And I feel like the person I'm talking about, if we get this area right here, that's where we're gonna see that Miami dominance coming back. So it's like one person I want to see him because he's from Polk County, and that's he been like a 5th-year senior, Cleve Reed. I feel like, man, he got some talent. You see what I'm saying? And I just don't know. I think whatever he got in him, Coach Cristobal could get it out. You see what I'm saying?
And Mirabal, right?
I know how much it means to the man, and he from where I'm from, so I want to definitely see him win. If we could get a person like that who haven't really got that much playing time since he's been at Miami, playing, and I think he got it in him. I'm telling you, I feel like he really got it in him to get probably start if he put the work in. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Coach Cristobal and the offensive line coach, they'll definitely be able to do it. But I want to see him actually have a real good spring and just bring that shit out, let that shit come out, and do what you got to do so you could go ahead and help your family.
So I got a follow up on that if you don't mind, Jazz. So I think offensive line's another position where we've recruited and done pretty well recruiting, and it just it hasn't been good. Do you think one-offs, because we got Mirabal and Cristobal, they're both O-line guys. We definitely got the coaches. Do you think one off season is enough to kind of turn that around?
Well, if you're a vet. I hope you ain't got. If you're a vet, you should better catch. You got to know how to catch on. Shit, goddamn, we got the quicker we catch on, the ones who go get on the field quick. But it might take a little time. But I feel like for the younger guys, if you a fifth year senior or a senior, you should be able to catch on.
Well, here's what I like about Cleveland Reed. Like, I feel like he's a Kane, right? Like, he almost transferred last year, right? He went in the transfer portal and came back, and that kind of tells you he wants to be here. He wants to compete here, and I don't know if he got a fair shake last year either. Obviously, the offensive line had its issues, and I don't know if he got a fair shake either. He came in with some high expectations. Very good guy, can play on the inside. He's a big dude. He can cover some ground. I think that he's got an opportunity just as much as anybody else to get playing time, man, to start maybe. I mean, look, he's battling with some guys that can play, right? Ja'Kai Clark, the transfer Logan Sagapolu. Those are some big boys. Here's the difference that I see between Cleveland Reed and maybe let's throw Ja'Kai Clark in there, is size, right? Reed is a little bit bigger. Cristobal likes his big monster offensive lineman, right? Ja'Kai Clark is a little bit smaller. So if you're looking at size alone, he's a guy that could possibly come in and compete right away and possibly get some playing time and maybe even start. I mean, I like that you brought him up because he flies under the radar a lot, Lance, especially on this team.
Yeah,
because not a lot of people talk about him.
No, he just got to bring it out, man.
Absolutely.
He just got to bring it out. Sometimes you have that one coach come in, he just bring it out that player. So hopefully that's what Coach Cristobal could do.
Definitely. I love it. It was a great show today. Look, spring football starts on Monday. We'll definitely have a little more info for you on next Wednesday night's show. We'll wrap up a little bit of what's going on, at least in day 1 and day 2 of spring football, and we'll keep moving from there. Obviously, head coaches, not head coaches, but the coaching staff still got a couple of hires out there that are in limbo. We have an idea as to who's going to be, the next tight ends coach. It looks like it might be Stephen Field. The other one is possibly a defensive end coach. We've got a couple of guys that have been mentioned there also. So we'll get an update for you on that. Make sure you follow us on Twitter because this weekend we'll be covering Canes baseball also as they take on the Florida Gators this weekend. Big matchup with some top 25 teams there. So that's going to be an intriguing matchup there with those two teams going at it. Florida obviously has had our number except for last year. Last year we took 2 or 3 from them. So
dude, we were briefly ranked number 1 in the country last year after that.
I know. I don't know how the hell that happened, but whatever. Hey, listen.
Came crashing back down to earth after that.
Yeah, no shit. So we'll be excited. We'll be excited about that though, because listen, hey, if we can do something like that again, if we can compete with the Gators, who are obviously a very good program this year again, then I think that we'll be all right moving forward. Canes basketball is still playing right now as well. So a lot of things going on in the Canes world, and of course, again, taste one boiled peanuts, baby.
Oh yeah, I know, man. I want South Florida to be on the lookout, especially
Absolutely.
West Palm Beach, Broward County, and Dade County. We about to get ready to bring it down south. And I already know because it's about to turn up. It's about to go up a whole. Listen, you about to see a little small not even mom and pop, a small business turn into a Fortune 500 business. Watch.
Amen, baby. That's all. That's what we want to hear.
And sure. I'll just throw out there, Lance isn't hawking merch. We are. Buy this shirt.
Oh yeah.
16 shots of Cuban coffee and 2 hours of sleep. It's on the 5 Reasons website. It's Mario's quote from his press conference. Jazz usually wears his, but I carried the load today.
Not wearing it today, but Lance, we appreciate you coming on the show, man. Thank you so much, DJ and Vish. You guys do an awesome job. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at 6 Rings Canes. The show every Wednesday at 8:30. Make sure you subscribe, smash the like button on the 5 Reasons Sports YouTube network channel, and we'll see you out. Gary asked, "Do you have it in burnt orange?"
I do actually have the burnt orange one as well. I got both of them. So Lance might not know this. We got one in black and one in orange, and they use like University of Texas orange on the orange shirts. And it's
terrible, man.
It's the wrong orange. I mean, it's completely wrong, but we're still rocking it. We're still rocking it. Little supply chain issue there, but
it's all right. Thank you guys again, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Go Canes!
All right.